But I'm poor, I'm disabled, chronically ill, fat. Hi pals, it is me again. RT, they them pronouns only. Thank you very much. So where do I begin? Another month-long challenge for you. Even though technically I'm still doing the challenge because I'm trying to continue doing the habits, you know. So I decided to try to do a little bit of not even necessarily exercise, but like movement every day to raise my heart rate. Full stop. That was it. That was kind of it. I have a very sensitive heart rate. I'm not particularly active. I think I may have some kind of like dysautonomia, I don't know, one of those, like maybe POTS or something, because there's definitely like an impact on my heart rate doing anything, standing up, sitting up versus laying down. I have quite a fast heartbeat. I don't think I've had a slow heartbeat ever. Like, I think the slowest I've kind of ever been is maybe mid to late 70s. At the moment, my resting heart rate tends to be around like 85. And then like my general moving around heart rate is like 100. I don't know if that's good or bad necessarily, but that's just kind of my normal at the moment. And you know, movement and exercise is supposed to benefit a lot of other things as well. Mental health, you know, I was basically taking that, going on a silly little walk for my silly little mental health, to like the literal. But of course, as per, it has been adapted to suit the ADHD. The month I started this, I didn't have a Fitbit for a start. I now have one of those because it's something I've been thinking about for a while. It was something I was researching for ages because I didn't know whether I should get a Fitbit or I should get a Apple Watch, which one. So I ended up going with the Fitbit Charge 5. And I got it secondhand from CEX. So I didn't have to spend any money because I have some like vouchers or whatever from where I've sold stuff to them in the past. So not a bad investment, to be fair. It was all based on me trying to read and understand my body, you know. I also wasn't tracking my food or calories because I am a dopamine seeker. I need to feel accomplishment and feel rewarded for doing these things. So that combined with my chronic illness, that I'm not necessarily always able to just do exercise.
Just do an exercise.
I was keeping an eye on my steps on my phone because my phone tends to never be left alone anywhere. And then what I was doing was adding in as much like walking as possible, but I don't know why I'm struggling to say this. It's not that difficult to say. Basically, I put in more movement into my day by giving myself like chores to do in the house or at home, or going to town. So yes, this is the video for that. I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like, leave your comments down below, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of me, just generally. Sometimes I do these exercise videos just because I like to try and have a conversation about exercising whilst neurodivergent and chronically ill. So I have a few of those. I don't know. I just like to share things. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video.
coming? Yeah? Was that it? Was that as far as you go, or would you carry on?
I've already forgotten when I started doing this. Yeah, I think maybe. So we're like day 4, I think. Day 4 of like trying to do a little bit of like activity every day to raise my heart rate. I think most days will probably be like reasonably minimal, which is fine. That's like the whole point. Like the whole point is just to incorporate a little bit of something every day and see if it helps me mentally improve, but also it's, I don't know, seeing what happens to my physical stamina as well. So yeah, most days it'll probably be along the lines of watering the plants and taking the recycling out. So those seem like nothing, but for a start, the watering the plants is a lot of walking around. I have to walk back and forth around my garden a bunch with like a really heavy watering can. So it's a mixture of like getting a little bit of like steps in, cardio, as well as weight training. I don't know. I have also been doing my grand's plants recently as well, which again is a lot of weight training and a few extra steps. And then taking out the recycling, I live in very rural Sussex. We have a very long driveway. It's not actually far to walk, but it's like a decent, maybe 100 steps, 200 steps, I don't know. And the recycling isn't heavy usually when I take it down, so it's definitely more of like a walk and extra steps kind of vibe. And yeah, I'll normally do possibly all of those in one day. Sometimes it's not necessary, but that's sort of what the idea is for like the minimum. If I'm not going to do any other exercise or whatever that day, that's like the baseline of what I can do. Tomorrow, well actually later, I'm going for a blood test, so that does mean I'll have to get some like more exercise in to try and get the blood pumping around my veins and my arm. And then tomorrow I'll be in town for 2 appointments and also to do some shopping, collect some things, you know. So tomorrow will probably be like a 2,000 to 3,000 step day. Yeah, it's just so much easier to do those little things when the weather isn't horrendous, and that's sort of my biggest barrier for just getting outside in my own home, because I do not like being cold. I don't like getting sweaty when it's cold. I'm very tense when it's cold.
It's not the vibe.
So we are on, I don't even know what day I'm on when it comes to this. A bit of movement every day challenge thing. I forgot which day I started, so that's always super helpful. I thought I would give some updates. I've definitely been doing this for a week, maybe 2. I need a haircut, but I mean, you can't really tell too badly, so that's okay. So it's been at least 7 days. I have been able to continue this every day. I've actually done more than I was expecting to do, to be completely honest. I think it's like similar with when you have a goal to write every day. Once you get into like that routine of doing something, and the routine has to be flexible for me, being chronically ill and ADHD, you just kind of end up doing more than like the bare minimum you set. That's what I find anyway. So my steps for the last week or so have been well above my usual steps. I think I've reached at least 1,000 steps every day. Most days it's 2,000 to 3,000, and that's just from like often doing stuff in the house. This weekend was more gardening and DIY stuff like that. And Sunday, because it's Monday today, Sunday we did a lot of weeding. We were weeding the driveway. Oh my god, do my forearms hurt. And on Saturday I did a lot of painting. So I was painting some pieces of wood to build shelves. And I repainted the picnic table we have out in the back garden. And like, one thing that this challenge has done for me so far is realise that actually I am fitter in a lot of ways than I realised, because like a lot of these things are very like arm, hand heavy chores, activities, things to do, which can be really difficult on my right arm / hand, considering I have a narrowed artery. That means there's often not enough oxygen reaching the muscles in that arm because of the lower blood flow. But actually like the painting specifically, I found a lot easier than I did maybe like 3 years ago, because about 3 years ago, I'll show you, about 3 or so years ago I painted this unit black, and it was really difficult. It was really difficult to do, took me a really long time, mainly because it really hurt my arm. And I think this was must have been before I was diagnosed with Takayasu's. But painting these planks and painting the picnic table this Saturday, yeah, was less difficult, which is always a positive. Hopefully that means I am developing, I don't know whether it's capillaries or something else, another C word. Hopefully that means I'm developing compensatory veins and that will just maybe continue getting better, but we'll see. That's, you know, it's known to happen, but it's very rare.
What's rarer than having Takayasu's and Crohn's disease and connective tissue disorder?
But I won't go into my conspiracy theories about that, but anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to give an update after about a week. I've already watered the plants today. I will have the recycling to take out. Yeah, that's kind of it for now. Bye. I wish I could angle this. Oh, I wish I could angle this better, but I can't. Turn my fan down so it's hopefully not too loud for the video. I've been getting more movement in. I haven't recorded a whole lot of it because it's mainly the same things most days. I hate filming in public, I won't lie. So it's usually like watering the plants, playing with my dog, sometimes walking the dog, taking the recycling out, walking around town, doing either like food shopping or other, I can't think what the word is, but like chores that I need to do. There hasn't really been a whole lot of like exercise exactly. The movement has been raising my heart rate, which is basically the point of this. Also a bit of, my hair needs I need to cut my hair, and I've accidentally dried a short section to stick up, so that's great. And like now I'm thinking about, do I try to incorporate some food based things, because I have like a really complicated relationship with food that I have discussed a bit on this channel before, but I think I have gone a little bit too far into comfort eating / eating for dopamine, whilst I have been feeling kind of stressed I don't know, just generally negative feelings that I can't put into words. Fun alexithymia of being autistic. But I have started to notice that I am eating past comfortably full and getting sort of to the point where I feel a bit more like blur. I stopped tracking my food a while ago, partly because I accidentally deleted the app on my phone and I couldn't remember my login. I know the login now, that's fine. But also because going on steroids at a higher dose again, I know from past experiences of the last few years that calorie counting literally does nothing for weight loss when I'm on steroids. So, you know, this year I went up to like 40 milligrams, which is a lot higher than I've been on in quite a while. And now I'm on, I think 13, so 1-3, and I'm just kind of at a point as a combination between being on such a high dose of steroids and just kind of eating, like comfort eating, so just to try and make myself feel a little bit better, which is totally valid. Like I don't regret doing that, because it has been hard just existing, and food is like one of the few things that always provides me joy, because food tastes so good. But I am now just kind of feeling constantly too full, bloated, not great kind of. So I am thinking about going back to tracking loosely, because the other thing is calorie counting with an aim to restrict always makes me feel worse, which the nutritionist I worked with said is because it's a stress on your body. So that's also why I just kind of threw all of it into the wind and said goodbye for a while, because I just didn't want to add that stress mentally or physically onto my body, going through its own tough time already. But I then lean too far the other way, which also makes me feel not great. I don't want to count with an aim to restrict, maybe count to be more mindful of what I'm eating and how much I'm eating, and mindful of, I don't know, maybe working towards more of what an adult human is supposed to eat every day, which is like something around 2,000 calories, which is much higher than the restricted calorie counting I have been doing with professional advice and stuff like that, because I don't want to put myself back in that space that I feel so tired and I just don't feel like I can function, and it stresses me out having to check everything all the time and scan everything and blah blah blah, because that is what I noticed with restricting. So I couldn't really maintain a very low calorie restriction, which was the only way I saw any difference in my appearance and stuff and on the scale when I'm on steroids, but that is not doable long term and made me feel like absolute shit, and would just destroy my body in other ways again that I've spent all this time trying to heal, I guess. And like my aim in like a long-term form is to be able to actually eat more calories and it not affect my weight and size so dramatically like it seems to at the moment, or was when I was still tracking, because I know I won't lose much or change in size or anything like that until I'm down to at least maybe 5 milligrams of steroids, which was still a while off. Yeah, so that's like 16 weeks away. And like, besides how food is making me feel. I actually feel kind of the best I have in quite a long time. I definitely have better energy, my pain is a lot lower, but that very much could be the steroids just generally. And I want to at least be feeding my body enough and appropriately for possibly trying to build more muscle and regain some fitness again, because when you are sick you can't do much. Like the flare that I vlogged a while back, I was so fatigued that it was so difficult to do anything, and that's just a tiny snippet to remind me of what I have been like in the past with my conditions flaring. Yeah, so, you know, not necessarily with the aim to lose weight at all, because weight is very variable based on loads of things. I want to try and gain, yeah, fitness and muscle, try to get back on eating a bit more balanced, more variation of food, and feel less bloated and uncomfortable in that way. So hopefully as well, that in the long term may help me with coming off steroids. That's a very slight maybe, like so slight my fingers are basically touching. I don't know, that's kind of what's on my mind at the moment. I'm, God, like two and a half weeks into doing this, so yeah. But that was the point. I wanted to do this, start getting into the habit of being more mindfully active day to day, which I definitely have been. I have low-key kind of impressed myself. So yeah, I don't know, that's my update for the moment. Artie, why are you sitting on the bathroom floor? Because the lighting's good and it's quiet and nobody else is here. Okay, so I've had a couple of days of tracking my food and kind of being around the 2,000 calorie mark until today. I anger eat sometimes, I think. I definitely emotionally eat. But today I anger ate, got very annoyed. I've kind of felt like I haven't had a lot to do today. Felt like I was trying to find things to do to be a bit more active and get some of those like heart rate racing movements in. We have an awful fly problem in this area in the summer. They are a menace. Like during the day when it's hot, there's just swarms of them in like the living room, dining room, kitchen. And like there's no way of getting rid of them. If you go in with Raid, they're replaced moments later. And then you have to sweep up all the corpses. So they have been really pissing me off today. Because I have the weekend alone to myself. And all I can think about is these fucking flies. I also ate my day's calories pretty early, I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking it'll be fine because I wasn't particularly like hungry. And just as I was getting my like dinner prepared, I just tried to pour a drink and the fucking top of the water filter jug just opened, poured all over the fucking kitchen side, made me so angry that I was going to murder something. So as I text my mum, I unceremoniously dumped it in the sink, and I'm not sure it made it unharmed, and I can confirm it did not make it unharmed. It is now definitely broken. Then after that I ate my dinner, and then I ate an entire packet of biscuits with a glass of milk. Basically, not quite an entire packet, but basically an entire packet. And then also a glass of orange juice a bit later on. So where I was sort of at my calorie aims, I ate that packet of biscuits, and that alone was probably 1,000 calories, probably. And I feel a bit sick. That's the only reason why I'm talking about it, is that the slight improvements I can discuss is that I did not eat the entire packet. I stopped before I felt violently ill, which I've not often been able to do in my past. But I am feeling kind of uncomfortable and nauseous, which is I have to go out tomorrow to meet up with someone who's going to help me learn how to use Discord. It's funny because I'm 27 and the person showing me how to use Discord is older than me. But that's one of the many ways I feel like a very old person, because it's just the autism in it, it's alright. But I might use that as like an excuse to also go into town and kind of just get out and be by myself for a bit. And get some like walking in, enjoy some walking, and being a bit more distracted from food. Because that's basically it, is that when I don't have a lot to do, or don't have a lot of energy to do stuff, all I can think about is food. It's that sort of like really difficult line of being understimulated. I cannot conquer. I can't work out how to manage it. Because like ADHD meds don't affect my appetite at all, mate. You know, for those of you out there who might think ADHD meds might be their skinny secret, not for everybody. And I know I only take half a dose, but I definitely get like the evening dip that makes me want to eat more for the understimulation / fatigue, which sucks. That's something I've been trying to deal with separately anyway. And like, if anything, yeah, the ADHD meds haven't affected my eating, but they have affected my hydration. Finding it easier to concentrate and stay concentrated on tasks means I forget to drink my water. And also stimulants are slightly dehydrating as well anyway, because they're stimulants. So whilst stimulants have done amazing things for my capabilities and like my brain and my functionality and being able to do stuff that I never thought was possible, it is really annoying that I'm just now, I still have the same food troubles, but now I also have hydration problems. I feel like at one point I might have said hygiene. If I said hygiene, I mean hydration. We're at the end of the day. But I just wanted to come complain about it because I'm just annoyed. Because I was gonna go lay upstairs for like a rest for the evening to get away from all the fucking flies. Just have a lay down after I had my dinner, but no. Like I wish I could be those fucking gym people. Like maybe one day I will be, but at this point I'm still like very chronically ill, disabled. I'll always be disabled, and just fat, you know. I mean, maybe one day I'll build up to that kind of vibe, because it seems great to be able to go and enjoy exercise for like that longer period of time and be able to do it and not be bored and not hurt yourself and see or feel the improvements. But I'm poor, I'm disabled, chronically ill, fat. Yeah, one day it'll be nice to get to a point where I'm like, wow, I'm strong, I feel much fitter. I mean, if anything, right now I do feel sort of the best I have in a while, which is why I don't want to cut calories anymore. I want to kind of build up the better eating habits again, along with exercise and strength training and maybe muscle building, because I know a big part of why I feel pretty okay is that I'm eating at least enough calories to feel functional. I had a headache the other day, and I think it's because I accidentally I didn't have time to eat breakfast before I had 2 Zoom meetings for an hour each, one after the other. And I know my body likes and relies on sugar / carbs. So again, I don't really want to cut those things out because I enjoy them and I don't feel terrible from eating them. I keep cutting a lot of my trains of thoughts, so you know it's the end of the day. Like, that's why I don't want to cut down and be restricting my calories, because I feel like shit when I do that. I've dabbled with it on and off the last couple of years under a nutritionist's like guidance. And like, one thing I learned was being above a certain milligram of steroids means that the only way any weight is coming off of me is if I severely restrict and somehow still exercise, which was like next to impossible. Made me feel awful. So that's why this isn't one of the reasons why this isn't about weight loss, because I just think it's silly. I just think it's silly. Why can't I eat? Because like I've also looked at the calculations online and stuff that I should be able to just eat 2,000 calories a day and not lose or gain weight. That should be the baseline. So why does it make me why does it make me gain weight? I want to get to a point where I understand what I'm putting into my body enough to not have to be tracking things super closely or at all. Get to a point where I can be flexible with what I eat and it not directly impact, I don't know, I suppose, like, I guess my size, because the reason why I started doing this as well is because nothing fits. None of my clothes fit. Some of that's the steroids, some of that's me comfort eating through this tough time I've had. Because like, before I got put back on high steroids was when I'd finally sort of gotten rid of my chubby moon face from steroids. I was feeling more like myself again. At least when I looked at myself, I was feeling shit though. Because I was ill. So yeah, I just would like to not have to think about food all the time, but being an autistic ADHDer makes that really hard, because I hate thinking of food. I have so many issues with food when it comes to like sensory stuff, flavors. You know, I still don't eat meat because I eat fish now though, which I think has been very beneficial to me. But also like, food costs so much fucking money, dude. Food costs so much money. And then also, like, if I could just hire someone to be like my personal chef or some shit, then I could probably stick to a diet or whatever pretty easily, because I wouldn't have to think about making my food. At most it'd be like, actually I fancy this today, you know, somebody else could do it. I just don't know how people do. Like, again, it comes to the ADHD autistic shit of like something dysfunction. I can't even think what it's called. Executive dysfunction. I think that's the right one. Or I just don't know how people do everything in a day. Like ADHD meds have helped that, but I don't know how people do everything in one day. How do people do all these things? I brush my teeth once a day. So I don't know how. I have a bath twice a week. The meals I make are often cereal, sandwiches, or something on toast. Sometimes an omelette or pancakes or something with a bit more baking or cooking skill, but not often. I just don't know how people do all these things that I'm doing and more. Because that's it. It's only recently that I've been able to go, oh, you know what? Actually, yeah, I can do just a bit of exercise most days or every day. Like my rheumatologist told me to do months ago, and I was like, and I blamed it on the ADHD that I was waiting for a diagnosis for. And to be fair, again, yeah, that has made doing a little bit every day more possible. The motivation is more existent. The wall I keep talking about that is usually up here has been lowered, so it's much less of a problem to get myself over to do things. But I don't know how people go to a gym, work out for 2 hours, deal with other gym people, come home, shower, and then do their whole, routine. I have like a whole routine after I have a bath, mate, because if I'm not on top of my skin and hair, they get angry at me. Especially my skin. My skin gets so angry. I don't know, I guess like it's just the slowly building up to those things. I'm still getting used to being able to do more stuff now, So maybe it will come with time. Hopefully I can either get off the steroids or I can stay on a low dose and not feel like absolute shit, and that'll help. Because yeah, when I feel very sick with my chronic conditions, it does often lead me to be laying in bed all day, whereas I feel more able to at least get up and do stuff a little bit. I don't know, that's just thoughts.
I've been out all day, and of course I forgot that I had the hose running to refill the dog's pool, and I've just flooded the garden. So as part of my exercise today, even though I don't need to add anything more on really, is I'm going to try to salvage some of this water to water the plants again this afternoon/evening, because it's been very hot today. Pretty much all of the plants are super dry. Happy Sunday to me. I have a bit of a sore knee. It's an old injury I have, but I'm not really ever sure what triggers it, so that's always helpful. I'm going to continue my very slow ambling around.
So the main things that I did at home that helped me gain extra steps, which helped raise my heart rate a little bit every day, were things like taking the recycling out. We have a long driveway, so it's kind of like a little walk. Watering my plants, I would go back and forth rather than having one large watering can and just going around. I would add in extra steps by going back and forth from the water. And then I would go into town a bit more often to get more things done, basically. So I would volunteer to go and pick up things from the shops for my family, take things to donation, do a bit of food shopping, you know, all that sort of shit. Have a walk around, browse some shops, even if I was not buying anything. And every time I have to go and take like a vintage parcel to a drop-off shop, it's quite a walk, my dude. That's quite a walk. Sometimes cleaning, like cleaning the kitchen, sweeping the floors a little bit. I hoovered my bed at one point because I saw someone on YouTube hoover her bed after a week. Like, she hoovers her bed every week, and her hoover was full of like dust and dead skin cells. My bed was not that dirty, and I haven't hoovered this bed in maybe a year. I have a suspicion that it's because Americans don't use an undersheet under their fitted bed mattress sheet. In the UK, and I think also in Europe generally, we have a second sheet, and I think that catches all the stuff that the top sheet doesn't. Anyway, sorry. There were a couple of days I didn't really do much because we had that horrific heat wave. We're about to have another one, which is fantastic for me.
I don't want to feel that 40-degree weather again. Please help.
I can't lie. It's really nice that it's kind of chilly enough this evening that I can wear my big, soft, comfy jumper thing and some joggers whilst I sit downstairs in the living room. It's been so hot for so long at this point. Even when it's been raining, I've forgotten what it felt like to be able to wear. Sometimes it was walking the dog as well. That's like an occasional one. So I guess this is like now the moment for me to talk about the conclusion. I haven't been weighing myself, obviously. I am not willing to put my tiny bit of mental well-being at risk for that. I am still struggling to find clothes that fit me, so it definitely is not definitely not a huge amount of anything has budged anywhere, which is completely fine. That wasn't the aim of this. The aim was trying to fit in some regular movement to try and help benefit my general overall health, especially as I am retapering my steroids. But whilst I feel well enough on steroids, I tend to try and get in as much exercise and movement and regain fitness as possible. It has definitely been a benefit to my mental health in a lot of ways. I think the ADHD medication, as usual, does really help because I just feel like I have more time in a day, or things take up less time. It's really hard to explain to people who don't have that experience. But I think that's one of the main players of this, is that before ADHD medication, it was so difficult to see any time in a day to do stuff. And I was so fatigued as well. Whereas I think a mixture of steroids and ADHD medication, I am a lot less fatigued and in less general pain. I also saw my chiropractor recently, who says that my musculoskeletal health is still doing very well. Like, I'm doing a lot better than I have been in the past. My adjustments have been quite minor recently, and I'm definitely not experiencing the same kind of, would relapse be the right word? I don't know, but like relapse and reoccurring like symptoms that I tend to notice when I definitely need an adjustment. So I usually get a lot of like neck, shoulder pain, and headaches tend to be my main ones because I definitely have like a posture issue. Thanks autism and connective tissue disorders / hypermobility syndrome. Oh, hold on. So I think that has also helped. I think they help each other out, you know, like doing the movement helps the musculoskeletal health, and the musculoskeletal health being better helps me be able to keep up movement. So that's a positive to me. I'm really glad to hear that. I used to see, oh my god, there was one point where I'm pretty sure I saw him like every week, every 2 weeks, and now I kind of see him every like six-ish weeks. So that's definitely one way of measuring my general health as well. I definitely had like a rough patch around the heat wave from Moderna and dropping to 11 milligrams of steroids. So, and that just kind of continued. So I ended up going back up on 12 milligrams. I am having my repeat blood test this week. I'm definitely feeling better on 12. I think just because everything happened all at once, my body couldn't cope with dropping to 11 milligrams as well from 12, because oh my god, that heat wave was horrific. Moderna definitely gave me a headache for quite a long while in the week too, but that could have also been the heat wave. You know, so many things happened all at once. It's really difficult to pinpoint one thing to cause issues, but it just kind of continued on. I felt really shitty. I was due to drop to 10 milligrams, and that's when I was like, no, I think I'm just gonna have to go back up to 12 and maybe try again. So I am feeling better again, thankfully. I think I might do some alternate days or cutting my pills in half to go back down to 11.
I might wait until after the 40-degree heat wave's been on, you know.
And keep that in mind if I have another Moderna vaccine for number 6, you know. I also have noticed the improvement on my Fitbit in the last few days too. I think I have two sort of major signs of me not feeling, oh my god, I'm mentally ill. I have two signs that I will notice but nobody else will notice that I'm not doing so great when it comes to tapering the steroids. One of them is my skin will start breaking out, because as well, since I've gone back up to 12, the under skin inflammatory spots I was getting have gone again. And also I get like even more tacky. So I definitely noticed an improvement in the last few days being back on 12 with both of those things, which was the main reason why I got the Fitbit, was to keep an eye on my heart rate. I've definitely felt like including movement into tasks that make me feel accomplished has definitely helped me keep this up. Like I mentioned in my NaNoWriMo writing for 31 days video, as an ADHDer, I find it very easy to keep up a habit every single day if I can see an end date. So that was kind of like, I was trying to trick myself with this one too. I gave myself like a 30-day to do it, but with the intention of continuing if I could. And so far I have pretty much continued to do it every single day. And I do feel like the Fitbit also helps being able to see certain numbers that make me feel like, oh, cool. And it also does, I don't know whether I like this yet or not, but it buzzes when you haven't gotten up and had enough steps every hour, which may be beneficial to some of the ADHDers out there. For me though, sometimes it's really annoying because actually I don't want to get up. I don't want to walk every hour, thanks. But yeah, so I do find it really helpful. And I might do a repeat of this video, including Fitbit statistics, talking about the Fitbit and stuff and why I went with it, you know. If that's a video that would interest you, let me know in the comments, because I definitely would be happy to talk about why I went with this Fitbit, what things I was looking for and wanted to use, and what things have been benefiting me, both just to kind of know and see, as well as benefiting me in sort of like a motivational way. Yeah, I also didn't record every single day because I was doing pretty much the same shit. I did realise though that actually playing Splash with my dog raises my heart rate quite a lot, so I thought that was really funny. So maybe, you know, just play with your pets a bit more vibes. But yeah, I feel like the one thing is it's a lot easier to do these things in the summer, for me anyway. I put up an Instagram post a while ago about how I feel like I'm one of the minority of disabled people who actually likes the summer, because for me personally a lot of my symptoms are brought on by cold or like extreme changes in temperature, and I seem to feel it a lot less in summer. So yeah, that, and like I'm always so tense trying to like shield myself from the cold and the horrible weather. So like I always do these things in the summer because it's just a lot easier. Like it's just a lot easier for my body to do physical movement when I'm not worried about getting so cold that it feels like I'm walking on glass. Just chronically ill things. And it sucks because I wish I could keep this up all year round, but I do feel like I will fall out of it again by winter. I've tried to have like exercise equipment in the house. I have a bike in the other room. Barely use that bitch, my dude. I've tried to join gyms. They are so much money. I did do a few like Zoom classes. I don't know if any of them are still even going anymore. Like I was enjoying yoga, but a lot of people put them on just way too late for me. I would have preferred like an earlier class, you know, during the day or like late morning. A lot of them ended up being around 7 p.m, which is just a bit too late for me, really. I am now, weirdly enough, I am now like a functional human being more so in like the morning and daytime, whereas I used to be like an evening and nighttime. So, you know, it's funny how things change. So yeah, I don't know how this is going to go as the weather changes again. Like if I could just maybe walk to a gym where I don't have to worry about catching COVID, then I think I'd be fine. But I can't do that because I live in the middle of rural countryside, and we don't even have pavement out here, so and there's nowhere nearby. But yeah, I feel like I will continue as best as I can. I do still want to try and include like weight training in some ways, because that's definitely, I do feel like that has helped a lot with my hypermobile joints, and then also I think it's benefited my Takayasu's arm. Earlier this year when I got really sick again, probably because of a Takayasu's flare, I saw my rheumatologist and had both of my arms blood pressure tested. We haven't been able to get a blood pressure reading from my right arm for quite a long time because this artery is narrowed. And actually we got a blood pressure reading for the first time in like probably 3 years, and I have noticed positive changes with my right arm's functionality, so that's good. I do feel like there are improvements happening in that sense, so hopefully that means I'm developing collateral or capillary what are they called, veins. Really my main issue we're dealing with is still just controlling inflammation, which again the exercise hopefully will be helping. Unfortunately my autism has made me go off a lot of fish again, so I'm now only sticking to things like tuna and like fish fingers, or like fish and chips kinds of fish, like cod in batter. But I tend to like to eat more fruit in the summer, but it's very expensive, so that's the other side of that problem. We have been trying to pick the fruit and berries that are growing naturally around us because we have some trees that grow some fruits. I don't know whether it would be worth trying to continue back with certain vitamins and supplements again more often, but who knows, maybe I should get back on the turmeric. But like, yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. I do feel good having been able to move more and enjoy myself in those sorts of ways. I definitely don't feel as fatigued or in pain as I have done in the past when it comes to doing a lot of these things, and it has kind of become part of my routine as well, and I just love crossing stuff off of my to-do lists. So, you know, there's not really an ultimate conclusion here. The conclusion is I am enjoying it. I'm trying to keep it up. I am still fat. So anyway, if this was useful to anybody, you know, giving some ideas of how to maybe include a little bit of movement into your day-to-day, let me know in the comments. If you have any, oh my god, if you have any other suggestions of what I could do to include more into my day, let me know. Yeah, don't forget to leave a like and help with the algorithm, because after I got over 500 followers, my views dropped. Sick. We love that. Don't forget to check out my coffee, where I currently also have a fundraiser going, because we have lots of expensive bills to pay to get a boiler put back in when it blew up in 2021 March, and we would like to have a boiler before this winter starts. Thanks. Trying to raise like 500 quid. I'm also putting in money that I'm earning, so if you want to help out, it's right there. Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe so you see me as well in your inbox. Notification bell if you want. You don't have to. You don't have to. I don't like notifications either. Yeah, I'll see you next week with another video. Bye.